I always knew the tolling of bells was more than just sound. When the church tower collapsed that day, taking with it not just the stones, but also the lives of those who gathered beneath it, I was the one they blamed. The community turned its gaze from despair to me, the maintenance worker. A scapegoat, they called me. A fool. A disgrace. I still remember the faces of my family as they mocked my obsession. I was sitting at the kitchen table, surrounded by sketches of bell patterns and notes about the acoustic phenomena I'd studied. My father laughed, a deep, throaty sound that echoed in my ears, his words sharp as glass. "You're wasting your life on nonsense," he said. "You'll lose your mind chasing shadows." My mother chimed in, her voice a smothering blanket of disbelief. "It's unhealthy, dear. Let it go." My brother, with his smirk, added, "You'll disgrace us. You'll see." But I couldn't let it go. I was drawn to the tolling like a moth to flame, desperate to decode the patterns, the rhythms, the chilling messages buried in the echoes of despair. I became obsessed, a hermit in a world of scorn, poring over the resonances of bells, once mere instruments of worship, now harbingers of tragedy. While they laughed, I listened. Years passed. I withdrew from their lives, my family's laughter fading into the background of my existence. I traveled to abandoned churches, crumbling steeples, and haunted halls, each place whispering secrets through the chime of its bells. I became a renowned expert in acoustic omen decoding, my name now whispered in hushed tones across the internet. But it wasn't the recognition I sought. It was the truth, the understanding of what caused the tolling to shift from celebration to mourning. When I returned home, it was under the heavy weight of a chilling revelation, one that had cost me dearly. I'd faced horrors that clawed at the edges of my sanity, that threatened to swallow me whole. I had survived the spectral echoes of the past, and now I was armed with knowledge that made me both feared and revered. As I stepped into the familiar creaking frame of my childhood home, my heart raced. The walls were the same, yet they felt alien, charged with a tension that made the air thick and suffocating. My family gathered in the living room, their expressions a mix of surprise and thinly veiled disdain. I'd returned, not as the outcast they once knew, but as a warning, a living testament to the dangers of ignoring the unseen. "Look who's come back," my father sneered, his bravado failing to mask the tremor in his voice. "The bell ringer." "Dad," I said, my voice steady, though my heart hammered in my chest. "You need to listen to me. The tolling, it's changing. The patterns reveal." "More nonsense," he interrupted, waving his hand dismissively. "You've got nothing but delusions." I could see the flicker of doubt in my mother's eyes as she glanced at my notes, the sketches of bell patterns that had haunted my dreams. "You've gone too far," she whispered, fear creeping into her tone. But it was too late for their disbelief. That night, the air thickened with a palpable dread. I gathered them around the dining room table, the remnants of our family meals, now shadows of the past. "You need to understand what I've learned," I urged, my voice urgent. "The tolling of the bells is a harbinger of tragedy, a warning of what's to come. It's not just folklore. It's a reality that has roots in our community." As the clock struck 11, the first eerie chime echoed through the house. It was a sound I knew too well, a low, mournful toll that reverberated in my bones. My family froze, exchanging uneasy glances. "What's happening?" my brother asked, his bravado slipping. "The bells," I whispered, my breath hitching. "They're warning us." The second toll came, louder, shaking the windows and rattling the walls. I could see the fear etched across my family's faces, fear I had once felt, the same fear that had turned them against me. They're not just sounds, they're messages. They predict death, chaos, disasters. The third toll rang out, a harrowing sound that seemed to wrap around us like a vice. I could almost hear the whispers of the past, the cries of those who had been lost. The weight of my knowledge pressed on me, the horror of what I had seen clawing at my mind. And then in a cacophony of ringing, the fourth toll echoed, a sound that sent shockwaves through the very foundation of our home. Darkness pooled in the corners, shadows stretching and bending into grotesque shapes. The bells were no longer distant sounds. They were here, in our very midst. "Make it stop!" my mother screamed, her voice laced with panic. But I couldn't. I had no power over the echoes of the past, the horrors that had taken root in the fabric of our lives. The walls pulsed with the rhythm of the tolling, and I felt the weight of their disbelief crashing down upon me. I had warned them. I had tried to show them the truth. As the final toll resonated, I realized I had become what they had feared, the embodiment of the very darkness they had dismissed. My family, once so scornful, now faced the consequences of their ridicule. Their laughter replaced by the chilling realization that the horrors I had survived had come home. With a heavy heart, I turned away, leaving them to confront the shadows they had ignored for so long. I stepped into the night, the tolling fading behind me, a haunting reminder of the price of disbelief. I had uncovered the truth, but at a cost that would forever echo in my soul. The bells had spoken, and now they would never fall silent again. The weight of my knowledge would linger, a shadowed crown I wore with reluctant pride, and as I walked away, I understood that some truths were far too heavy for the unprepared to bear.